Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here to talk about The Walking Dead. Believe it or not, JVS is overviewing Walking Dead again. I know it's been years. I've thrown it away and now I'm picking it back up. And it is all thanks to my co host here bringing me back into the darkness like I never left. So, to introduce him in, Aris from Three Black Geeks. What's going on, brother?
What's up, sir? How y'all doing?
Oh, man, I can't believe we about to talk about this craziness.
Look, man. See, I'm mad that it actually took this show to get to bring you back into the fold when you haven't even finished the main series.
Nope, have not.
I'm the only one. I really do believe I am the only one that remained a Walking Dead purist from beginning to the end, man. I stayed on that roller coaster ride all the way to the end. I watched the other shows. I've kept up with Fear. I watched World Beyond, even though nobody cares about that show, especially up until about the second season when Jadis shows up. But by that time, nobody cared about it. The CRM, they were interesting, but I wanted more of them, but I didn't get that anyway. Then there was Tales from the Walking Dead. Again, that was like a 6-episode series that only had one really, really, really interesting episode because it was about Alpha. Other than that, I've kept it together, man. I sat through all 24 episodes of Walking Dead's final season, and I had to sit back and go, man, it would be nice if everybody else I knew continued watching. Oh yeah, that's right. From Tales, Terry Crews was in the first episode, and it was only just that one episode.
Yeah, I think what happened was one, back then I was doing reactions. So I was reacting to every single episode. I started Fear and I stopped as soon as a certain character died. And then they were talking about the World show, and then they were talking
Yeah,
about
World Beyond.
Tales, and then they were talking about the Rick movies, and it was too much. It was too much, and I was kind of like, I'll try to keep at the main storyline, but by the time we get to, I think it was like season 10. It's only 11 seasons, right?
Yeah, it's 11.
So we got to season 10. I got to the halfway point. I thought it was the end, and no, it's more. And so I was like, I'm done. I
Bro,
wiped my hands of it, and
bro, I told you, and I told another friend of ours in our space. All y'all assumed that was the end of season 10, and I said no, because of COVID, because of the lockdowns, they extended season 10 by like 6 more episodes because they couldn't like fully get started with season 11 just yet. So what we got was 10, I think, I'm sorry, what we got was like 6 more episodes, what I like to call the Walking Dead, the COVID the COVID episodes. Because no, because when you really think about it, whenever you actually do take the time to watch those episodes, Sam, they are probably the most socially distanced episodes ever because barely anybody is in it. They usually cut it down to less than 3 people per episode.
yeah, I do know that one of the episodes I wish I had seen before I saw this one, which was I think a Negan flashback episode introducing I think Negan's
Yes.
wife,
Yeah.
Lucille, and I wish I had seen that. I haven't seen it. I may go back to watch at least that, and then I'll think about watching season 11. It is really I don't know, but anyway, that's not
No,
what we're
you,
talking
you
about
gotta
here.
no man. You gotta watch season 11. Listen, you blew up off of Walking Dead. Okay, you kind of owe it to yourself and this franchise to finish out
Oh my
the entire
god.
series. Just watch it and be done with it.
Can I watch Fear instead? Because I'm more interested to see Fear than I am
Where are you?
finishing.
No, what was the last episode you watched? The Fear.
I told you, like they killed. Oh my god, what was the son's name?
Are you talking about? Oh, Nick,
When they killed Nick,
bro, that was like season 5. Wow, you are so far behind, sir.
right? Exactly. I'm intrigued to watch that because I
So
love Coleman Domingo as Strand. Alicia, what's her name?
Alicia
Um,
as Alicia.
Right. I'm intrigued by those actors and those characters, but that's it. Like Nick was the thing that drew me to Fear, and so when he died, a little bit of me went with him. So
But at the same time, I'm sorry, Sam. Me personally, I personally cannot allow you to pick up Fear without finishing the main show. You have to finish the main show. Be like Halo and finish the fight, man.
Whatever. All right. Anyway,
You cannot abandon the main show. Just get it over with.
we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, what we're here to talk about is that we have seen the first 2 episodes of Dead City. This is a non-spoiler discussion. We're going to riff on some things that we want to talk about and engage about. And I'm going to say this right now. I am there. I'm going to watch every single episode each week. We're going to be talking about every single episode each week, just off of looking at the first 30 minutes of the first episode. It already had me. And I have not even finished the original series. And yet I'm watching Negan and Maggie navigate through this insane situation. And it is on fire right now. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, in my personal opinion, is on it. And I mean, even Lauren Cohan, like in this situation, I don't know how she's supposed to be, because she's having to trust the man that killed the love of her life to get to the other love of her life, which is crazy concept. But so Eris, what was your impressions of what you've seen so far from the first 2 episodes?
Well, I'm gonna say just off of the beginning of the first episode, you see Maggie is really messed up, like mentally. She's like mentally hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's definitely still going through some stuff. The fact that it takes place immediately in New York is dope, but what kind of throws me off a little bit is when we see Maggie and Negan finally, reconnect in episode 1, it's a little jarring for me. And I would only simply say, if for anyone who's watched the finale of the main series of Walking Dead, you'll totally understand what I mean. So off of that, oh man, just the I would say the overall look of Dead City, I love what they've done with it. The color grading is really dope, like for the night scenes. When they're in New York and they're walking through the city, I don't know about you, but I got straight Escape from New York with zombies vibe.
Nah, for real. I definitely can piggyback off of that, because there was a scene where Negan was telling her, watch out, and she looked, and I was like, yo, this is not good, because there could be booby traps everywhere. And all of a sudden, bodies start falling out of the sky. And I was kind of like, this isn't like the open range. This isn't like out on a field. Like in the city, everything's tight and close together. So It's like, if things are falling from the sky, then anything can be around any corner. Like anything can come out of the darkness. And I think that conceptually, like having The Walking Dead in a city environment like this and at nighttime, it's pretty terrifying. I actually really love the concept and the shots and the design. You showed me a dope transitional scene that happened between like Maggie and another character, and I thought that was really well shot. So I think a lot of the cinematography and the action moments were filmed pretty well. But yeah. I'm trying to keep it vague without saying too much, because in the second episode, there's a kill that I was like, this is why I've missed The Walking Dead. For moments like this, I was like, I completely identify who the character is that does such a thing, and at the same exact time, you're just still terrified as to what this actually means for everybody around. And I love how they shot it. I love the line delivery. Again, I'll say that, man, Laura and Jeffrey are killing it. I don't know. What do you think about their performances so far?
Oh, dude, their performance is always dope when they're together. I mean, hell, even when they play like even when they had a small cameo as being Batman's parents.
Yeah, that's crazy. I forgot about that.
You know, like seeing that, I'm like, God, you two work so good together, man. And what made that scene so great was you see the two of them together, and and that literally was from the beginning of season 7 when when Glenn was killed, because the year that season 7 dropped, episode 1 of season 7, Batman vs Superman came out, and I'm like, whoa, hold up.
Right.
Yeah, man, it just throws you off. It totally throws you off. But no, I love seeing the two of them together, and like they have like the perfect. It's like the perfect relationship. Like for you love to see it. For these two, they hate being around each other. Well, at least one of them does.
Dude, it's so crazy because even when they were talking about originally the Flash was supposed to be called Flashpoint.
Yep.
And I was like, if they get these ninjas to come back in and Laura Cohen plays the version of the Joker, that's the female Joker, and he plays like the Thomas Wayne, like the Batman that kills, dog, that would have been something special. I ain't gonna front. Like
that would have been listen, we finally would have got Jeffrey can say he has been Negan and Batman.
Right.
How dope would have that been?
That would have been some next level stuff. There's a picture. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. We shouldn't even be talking about this actually, because we got to go through all the different other characters. But I got to pull this up just because seeing them work together, I would have been all for this.
Why wasn't this a thing? That would have been too good. Yo, whoever photoshopped this, they no. I need all of this. This needs to be real. Was this AI? Please tell me that was AI.
Oh, man. But
because that is too good.
Yeah, that would have been something crazy.
I'm sorry. Go back before we go back to the series. I'm just gonna say this. After looking at the pictures, hey, DC, Warner Brothers, you denied us this. We are owed all of this.
Oh God,
James Gunn.
Originally,
I'm just gonna say, James Gunn, please guide us back to this Flashpoint.
So the interesting thing is that Jeffrey Dean Morgan has said when and if they did a Flashpoint, he would do it. Like he said that he would do it, and like he eventually was like, they're not asking for me to do this version because they're not doing Flashpoint, and that was when we first officially got the confirmation. But anyway, we're not even talking about all this. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean they've got great chemistry. They really do. I think that the interesting pivot point is the situation that Maggie is in. She is trying to look for her son. And Herschel, we don't know what kind of situation he's in. But we do know that there may be somebody potentially as sick, if not more sick, than Negan. And that is this man right here. What were your impressions of him coming off the first episode and going into the second episode without spoiling too much?
So just from seeing, especially from I would say from his introduction, the Croat, I thought he was very interesting. He definitely has a mysterious side to him. I mean, there's a little bit of what do you call it? Of exposition.
Yeah.
Involved like regarding him, because again, this is a 6-episode show, so they're gonna try to keep things packed in as much as possible without overwhelming it. But as far as his appearances in these first 2 episodes, dude, I thought he was a very interesting villain. He doesn't because this isn't related to the comics or anything like that. I don't really have anything to compare him to. So, right. I can't say that he's this is different from the comic version. No, he's a 100% original character, more than likely from AMC, much like Daryl. A character owned by AMC. Kirkman probably has no no position whatsoever to kill him off at any point in time.
Right. He's like, yeah, he's got to stay. But no, I think that him as a character, he invoked this feeling of fear because I didn't know what he is gonna do, and I also don't know what he's capable of. But
The only thing you can say is that he's really unpredictable.
Right. The fact that Negan looked at him as a loose cannon was fascinating. Was very fascinating. So him as a new introduced character, I think, was pretty dope. And then they also introduced the Marshal. So the Marshal is very mysterious as well, but you could kind of tell like he's not anyone to play with either, especially off the first episode and what he does to a certain lady, and all in the name of the law and justice. I was like, bro, I don't know what you on, but you might be slightly crazy.
That man is about his job. That man knows it. He knows the assignment, and he goes in to do it.
Oh man, but no, I think that the actor is doing a really good job. He seems completely committed to it. He's got a style about him. He definitely is the Batman of this whole entire situation.
Yes.
But I don't know where his character is gonna go. And also there are some unique things that they're doing with some of the walkers this time around. There was one shot of like a walker that had like a rat coming out of its mouth, literally.
Okay, yeah, you caught that. So, well, you know, much like how they've done like other interesting things with walkers in the main show. You know, it doesn't happen often. Don't do that, Sam. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, I may or may not know the situation with that particular walker that Sam just posted, but anyway, they've done interesting things with walkers in the main show, and this series is going to be no different. That's one thing I could say.
Yeah. No, I think
remember the walker that was covered in tree moss, it was just covered in straight up moss, like it was attached to the tree. And this was back in like season 7 when Carl was still around.
Yeah, that was one of those ones I was like, this is the closest we've gotten to The Last of Us before The Last of Us come out. I think that they're finding inventive ways, but even I guess the last thing I kind of want to talk about is, how do I put it? The progression and the elevation of the characters, Negan and Maggie, because Maggie is in a lose-lose situation, having to work with Negan and also reliving trauma while at the same time dealing with current trauma was going with her son. You can see certain moments where she's slowly losing it and questioning, what she's really doing. There's one opening shot where she's almost attacked by a walker, and she is beaning that walker to death, just like Negan beamed Glenn. It was so on the nose, it wasn't even funny. But then
it was a full callback.
Right. There's a moment on the boat on the first episode with Negan. He's about to go and chuck somebody over, and she's like, no, don't do it. And he questioned her on something that I was like, that's a real question.
Bro, and the way he called her out.
And I think she said something along the lines of like, what you've done, no one could ever let go.
Like, no one could ever put it to bed.
True. And it's like, that's a real statement. I just love how each character has truly evolved. But it's uncharted territory because I don't know where they're going. I think that's the fascinating thing about this show that I've seen more than anything else. But I don't know. What would you think about their progression as characters?
I will say this. It is, I mean, listen, the bar is in hell if you're trying to be better than World Beyond. I mean, the first 20 minutes of the first episode is already better than that. The progression of what they're going to do with these two, I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible. Like, truly incredible.
Say less. I'm there. What do we rate first 2 episodes?
Episode 1 alone or just
episode 1 and then episode 2 without.
So episode 1, I'm giving it like I'm gonna give episode 1 a solid a solid A. It doesn't start off with like a slow burn or nothing like that. There's like plenty of things to have you questioning the show. You know, you're gonna come away with questions, but at the same time, it's not gonna smack you in the face with season 1 action like the main show does in the later seasons. You know, it doesn't hit you with that just yet, but it's just enough to like set the tone for what the show is going to be about. So I'm gonna give it like a solid A.
Yeah. What about second episode?
Second episode is also sitting at another A for me. You know, it brings more tension. It ups the ante a little bit, like at certain points. I don't want to say A plus because there's that part. You know, there's a part in the second episode that really wants me to make me say it, but there's 4 more episodes after watching this, so it's gonna sit at an A for me right now. It deserves an A plus, but there's 4 more episodes, so I got to sit with that A.
Yeah, I may actually go above both of these for you. I may go A plus on both because the truth of the matter is I have been a hermit. I've not watched anything Walking Dead related at all. So the fact that watching a small bit of, because when I watched, I only watched a small bit, and I was like, I gotta finish it. And then when I watched it, I was like, I need to see the second episode. So it reawakened my love for The Walking Dead. So all for the first episode as a pilot, it won me. Like for a spinoff to win me about 2 characters I didn't think that there was a story to tell, that's amazing to me. And then the second episode, bro, the moment of the rain of blood. I mean, look, that is Walking Dead for me. Like even the line delivery was The Walking Dead for me. So yeah, for these 2, A plus for me because I don't have too many detractants or negatives. I mean, there are certain characters that we didn't talk about, like Negan has a companion that he's kind of overseeing, and even like Maggie's still working with Hilltop in a certain capacity. But that's kind of uncircumstantial right now. There's not any points to talk about. And I agree with you about the main bad. There's not enough about him to know
he's more mysterious.
Go. But it's enough intrigue in seeing what he's capable of to make me be like, okay, I'm curious to where it's going to go. So yeah, that's where I am with it right at this point.
I mean, it's like I said, these first 2 episodes is honestly how you do a slow burn properly.
Right.
Like you don't overwhelm the audience with, a crazy amount of over the top action for a pilot in the second episode of a brand new spinoff like this.
Right. Yeah.
You always wait until about episode 3 and 4.
So what he's saying, you guys, is 3 and 4 is going to be lit. That's what he basically
did. I'm letting you know that off rip. It's
so we'll be back episode 3 with a full discussion. We're not going to hold anything back. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Eris, where can everybody find your content, sir?
So you can find us at 3blackgeeks.com. Honestly, Google the name 3 Black Geeks. We are everywhere. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Libsyn, Podomatic. We're 3 Black Geeks on Twitter, Instagram. You can find me right there. My Twitter handle is Black Nerd Japan. Hit me up, say what's up, and that's it.
We'll be back starting next week, maybe sooner than that. Actually, we'll talk to y'all in a second. All right, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button, go and follow 3 Black Geeks. Go check out their podcast as well. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace, people.
Falling off the top of